You got it on the blue? Yeah. That's like 5 in 1 minute. You crushed the blue this time, huh?
Yep. It's a decent one.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Look at that, he wanted to come to me.
Oh yeah.
All right, got this nice pike on a blue fire brine smelt. He came in and he just kind of stared at it for a little bit, but you know, he got a little enticed and he swallowed it. Looks pretty good.
Hey everybody, Chris Schaefer with Pautzke Outdoors. Today we're coming out to you doing a little introductory pike fishing. So we're not going after monsters today. What's happened is, due to the pandemic, we have so many new families that are out there fishing for the first time. We're going to show you how you can be successful without spending a lot of money, just coming out here with bait, inexpensive rods and reels, and having a great time. Come with us. We're going to bring the underwater cameras with you and show you how these pike feed under the surface.
There we go, fish on. He's stuck in the weeds, so we might have to do some snag on here, but
he's in the weeds?
He's coming slowly. Pull those weeds out. He's dragging a bunch of weeds with him.
Oh, it is a pike.
There he is. It's kind of a pike. Oh, and we got him. Woo! Line broke, we still got him. Got this nice pretty northern right here. He's kind of got some battle scars on him. He absolutely crushed some pink fire dyed herring. Or some 2 more feeds. Oh yeah, big one he's dragging. Get this.
Is it closer?
Oh, it's right here at the hole. Look at him. A little bit better than the last one. Way better than last time. Grab him out of the hole, don't lift him. Yep. There you go. A little bit better than the last one. Way better than last time.
Here we're out on a small little lake, fishing for northern pike. And this is just another means of what we're using or how to catch the fish. So what we're using is it's called the jaw jacker. These are made over in Idaho, or the guy that developed them was in Idaho. And there's other means that we use too. It's a tip up with a flag, but we prefer to use the jaw jacker, so we can use a rod and reel to reel the fish in instead of pulling the fish in hand over hand as a long line. And so the way we're setting this up, guys, we're just using again a little Rapala. These are called the VMC Tingler spoons, and then we're just tipping it with our fire brined smelt, and this one's pink, and we just simply put it on the hook, and we're just letting it sit down there just as a dead bait, just as a still fishing. So we're just going to set that in there, and we're not very deep here. We're only in about 6 feet of water, so we're only putting this lure about 4 feet below the ice, and just letting it sit and waiting for the pike to take it. So here we go. We're going to put it in there. I always just like to, I can usually see the lure 4 feet below the ice, and I can see it down there. Here we are. We're just going to set this up, and what happens is when a fish hits this, he'll literally pull on this on the trigger, the rod will snap up, and then we will come over to the rod and reel, pull it out, and then fight the fish.
Well, let him run.
Take your time.
Let him run. Nice fish. Reel, now reel. Oh yeah.
So just perfect timing. We're just explaining how to do this, and we get another one.
Oh yes!
Nice.
Yes!
So it just kind of shows that it is a very effective way on how to catch pike or any other species in that in ice fishing.
All right, we're out here on the ice today using frozen smelt. We're in an area where no live bait is actually allowed. So we're gonna use this frozen smelt. We're gonna brine it up and then add a little fire dye to it, and you're about to see why we do that. So simplicity is this: you might have a whole bottle, but you only need to pour enough in here so that the bait is submerged. This is the chartreuse fire brine. We're just gonna pour a little bit in there. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna toughen up these baits. It's gonna make the scales shine, make them a little bit more flashy. And then we're gonna do the good part here. This is chartreuse fire dye. And the difference is the dye dyes the bait, the brine brines the bait. They're two completely different products. You're gonna see how quickly this stuff works. We're just gonna take a nice solid squirt of the dye in there. And what that's gonna do, give it a little bit more. What that's gonna do is give it its color. So all we have to do is leave this in the bag and you'll be able to see those smelt take the color instantly. We have a feeling that those pike aren't gonna be able to take that color. They're gonna just chow it down. All right, so a lot of people like to stay all natural. What this is natural fire brine. The reason why we're using this, it's not gonna do anything but toughen up those baits. It's gonna brine them so they stay on the hook longer. It's gonna make those scales shine again. And you can see it's gonna keep them in their natural state. And a lot of people believe that that natural state is the most important, even though we believe, we've proven many times in these videos before, that colors like chartreuse, colors like blue, really help bring more fish in to feed. All right, the last color we're gonna try today is blue. And I gotta tell you guys, be careful with the blue. It is super strong, so strong that if you get it on your hands, and I'm talking about the fire dye, you're gonna look like Papa Smurf for a week. Now, the reason why we're using the blue is we believe blue is our sleeper color. All over North America, we've used blue for pike, and we have seen pike just completely destroy this stuff. Even though most people don't think it's a big time color, when you see it blow up underneath the ice, especially after doing this, we're gonna add just a tiny bit of blue fire dye in there and wait till you see what happens now. So we're gonna let these sit, we're gonna throw them on the hook, we're gonna show you what comes into eat. You saw us put the brine and the dye in there. The first one right here, that's what natural looks like. You can see the scales already starting to shine. That is chartreuse fire dye and chartreuse fire brine mixed together. That is the pink. It might look a little red. We have a red that's way darker red. That's the pink version, and that's the blue version. Now these are soaks after about 2 hours. If you soak them all night, they'll be even brighter, but you'll notice as you put these in the water, it's not gonna wash off. So make sure you use the brine and the dye together because they do a completely different thing. Again, just to recuperate here, what we talked about earlier, that fire brine toughens them up, makes them shine, makes the bait last longer, where the dye is simply a color boost.
Yep, Alan, on your knees, Alan. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's a nice one, Mitch.
There you go.
And he did the dance. And look what's on there. The pink again. Hey, oh yeah, it is the pink.
Pink slant.
This little guy crushed the pink fire dye on pink fire dyed smelt.
What we're using, or what I like to use, this is the Akuma Samar, the C10 that came out new within the last year or two. Beautiful little micro reel for what we're doing, the application that we're fishing in for this particular lake that we're fishing in. So it just does a really great job. The drag is so smooth. There's no hesitation. And I've been using these now since they have come out new. I have no complaints about them. Just been really great. So the rod is just a lightweight rod, an ultra lightweight rod. Again, we're not on a huge lake that's got a lot of big pike. So the application for the rod and reel works really well for what we're doing. So this line that we're using, this is what's called Cajun. It's made by Zebco. I know there's a lot of other companies with fluorocarbons, mono, but I'll tell you, for this Cajun line that I'm using, I believe this is only 3 or 4 pound test. It's fantastic. It does great. It doesn't have a lot of line memory, so I don't get a lot of twist in the line, which a lot of you guys would know that some monofilament, you just get the twist over and over on your line. So again, Cajun line made by Zebco. It's been a great line for me. I use it on all my reels. Give it a shot.
Ooh, get him. Got him?
Yep.
Careful, careful, careful. You don't want to get stuck on the ice. Okay, tail first.
Hey, buddy. This one is probably the biggest of the day, and it's going good out here.
All right, so if you have a young one or anybody that has a short attention span like me, this is what's really helped us have a little bit even more fun today. This is the Markham Pursuit HD, and it allows you to see what's going on below the surface. So right there, you can see that is the pink fire dye and fire brine herring, and it allows you to see when the pike comes in and eats it, as you guys are going to see some excellent footage on that shortly. But hey, keeps you focused, and it makes it a lot of fun for kids and big kids like us.
So all we're doing here is we got some braided line. It's a 20-pound braid, and then we come off into a monofilament leader with a steel leader. This is a 20-pound test. And the only reason we're using that is pike have real sharp teeth, and so they'll cut that mono or the braid very easily. Off of that leader, guys, we're using just a little VMC hook. It's called the bladed hybrid, and just with that little silver flasher, and when we're hanging our baits off of that, just by jigging, just seems to attract the fish even that much more. But the dye that we're using, so we're using our Pautzke dye chartreuse, and what that does is, with that blade and that fish on our hook, really brings them in. And so all we're doing is we're just taking 2 hooks, and this is how I like to bait them, just right through the belly area. Leave 1 hook out exposed like so, and when that pike comes in, he'll hit it hard enough. He will take all 3 treble hooks at the same time. The size of pike aren't really huge, but for the people that do come here to fish, size really doesn't matter, as long as there's a tug on the other end of the line, and just to have a really good time for families and the kids. This is what we call a tip up. It's made by Fraybill. It's kind of like a mouse trap, is what I usually explain to my clients. So what we got is we have a quick strike rig for northern pike, 2 treble hooks. Sometimes in different bodies of water, you might use a bigger minnow or a sucker. Here we're just using a herring, and this has been dyed in our fire brine, and this is chartreuse fire brine. So I put 1 hook through the back like so, and the reason why I got gloves on too, guys, is just so it doesn't stain my fingers in my hands and I get it all over my clothes. So that's why I'm wearing the gloves. And so I just take 2 hooks and I run them on the opposite sides of the fish. So then we're just going to drop this into the water, and you can see how well that glows. It really shines well. Okay, so we're going to let that down about 4 feet. And this white line is what we call dacron. It's a 50-pound dacron. So in some lakes, we have to use a bigger line when we're fishing for a 30-pound pike. And that does happen around here. So now we're just going to let this down. We're going to take the flag, put it up underneath the little lever here. And when the fish hits this, guys, he's going to pull on this line. The flag's going to pop up, and then when we run over to the tip up, and the indicator here is the spinner, and then that allows us to know that there's a fish there.
Now, everybody on Earth has been infected by the pandemic in one way or another. It's been a real unfortunate thing we've all had to contend with. However, a lot of people have discovered the passion for fishing again. More people have gone fishing during the pandemic than, more new anglers, I should say, have gone fishing during the pandemic than maybe in the last 50 years combined, which has allowed families to get out there and enjoy time together. Now, the reason why we came out here and filmed this video was to show families how to catch northern pike through the ice. Now, this particular lake we're fishing today is not known for large pike. There's a lot of small pike, but you also get a lot of action, which is great for kids and people that maybe, are just getting back into fishing for the first time. Now, you'll see we came out here today with one set of baits, whether it was a herring or a smelt. We put all of those in brine. Now, you'll see several colors of brine that we use today, and we mixed the brine with the dye to match those colors. Now, we did use the natural, which keeps the bait in its shape that it was before we dyed it or brined it. So we also had chartreuse. You can match the chartreuse fire brine with the chartreuse fire dye, just like you have the same thing with pink. Pink is very popular. We got a lot of really good ones on the pink out there. So you can match pink fire dye with pink fire brine. Or the other option we had today was blue. Blue is a very strong color, and when you see it in the water, it looks amazing and really brings in those curious pike to hit those as well. Now, we were able to get some great underwater footage. You saw these Markham units that we were allowed to borrow. And the Markham units showed us, it's kind of like a video game. If you think you're going to be bored, get one of these Markhams, throw it down there, and you can watch the fish come in and just, they slurp that bait right up. A lot of people think, oh, it's a gimmick, this brine and the dye doesn't work. Well, if that's the case, pike anglers from across America wouldn't have been doing it for the last almost decade now. And you can see on film today, this isn't staged. We can't basically give the pike $10 and say, hit this bait for us. Either he wants to or he doesn't. You'll see several times on this film where they come underwater and they just snatch up those baits. It's also a lot of fun. You want to bring your kids out there, they can choose the color that they want to use, and then the pike will tell you which color they want to eat. Now try this, go out to your favorite pike lake, and you can have a great time just like we did. Pautzke products are available at sporting goods stores near you. If you can't find the specific color, size that you want, make sure to go to Pautzke.com. And as a thank you for watching Pautzke Outdoors, we're going to show you a coupon code to be used for 10% off your next order.